How about that? Any better?
Is it better? Check, 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 check. Check. You guys got us? We need to know in the chat if you guys can hear us. We need the audio to be working.
It is what it is here, guys, with the internet. That's how it's going to be. We've
Is
got
it
a hard
still?
line. If it goes out, it goes out. That's just kind of, I'm not working from home where I've got better internet than God.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying the audio is working now, so it's just a restart.
All right.
I don't even know where we were at when it cut out, so.
Yeah, it's going to be a situation where now what happens at 23?
Well, let's see what Houston does. Man, Thompson.
Yeah, they're taking on man.
Yeah.
5 is where it starts getting interesting
The
again.
funny thing is I kind of mentally checked out from the draft after that pick was made. I'm like, I don't care what Houston does.
It takes a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, and then they're on the clock again at 23 unless they're able to move that pick.
It's going to be interesting. Thanks. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. How am I supposed to feel right now? You can feel kind of however you want.
I'm mixed. I'm excited to see Shaden, and I understand the youth thing. But I think my frustration is, one, we never one time in his era took a swing. There was never one legitimate swing for Damian Lillard after all of that loyalty. And I'm kind of hoping you or somebody else brings this up. The messaging the entire way has been we're more so looking.
What's interesting here is I haven't seen anybody.
I haven't seen any indication they're trading this.
Oh, no, not about that. It's
What? What?
No, nothing.
Oh. But I
was caught up there.
I'll just finish it. I am in this weird emotional place because I don't want to lose Damian Lillard. I wanted a Dirk. I wanted a Duncan. I wanted a Kobe. We've never had it. And the messaging to me, I feel like they could have gone maybe slightly different with messaging to not make me feel as if they are going to swing big to go get the pieces to win now with Dame. Had they not done that, I'm probably in a little bit better mood. But that's where I get mixed feelings on the whole thing.
Yeah, flagging that over and over and over again because and you can sit here and say, well, drafting Scoot is getting the most value for that. And you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
Those are two
separate
different
things. Yeah.
That you can't figure out. And everybody keeps saying, can they still trade him? Yes, you can, which is why I'm not burning everything down, which is why when we've talked about this since the deadline was, when people said, well, when can we get pitchforks?
Yeah.
And I said, what? August 1st.
So you are holding out hope that there's a trade still? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Not just a trade RE Scoot, but as it pertains to the organization. Portland Trailblazers have just tweeted out with a 3rd overall pick. We have selected
they're not trading him. You're not trading him if you're tweeting that out. There it is.
I'm going to start throwing people out of chat who say my mic is low. I don't have a voice for the 37th goddamn time.
You know, you do this, I wouldn't call it a shtick, but you do this thing where you genuinely go at people. See the Charlotte Hornet fans here, or the Pelicans fans. But I also think you have driven people to want to be on the other end, and they're like, I want him to kick me off the chat. Like, that's kind of where I think the situation is. Yes. Yes.
Four.
Small ball.
6 on 5.
Look at this jacket by my man over here.
How much did you make on the
What?
How much did you make on your Brandon Miller bet?
Like $18. It was a tiny bet. I know. I'm a coward, man. Unless it's football, I'm a coward.
I would have told you to put more on it.
Unless it's football, I'm a coward. I love betting big on football. other things.
Said it to me on the radio, but now the truth comes out.
Yeah, the bet thing that he was bringing up. We had a listener over here bringing up the bet stuff on Miller and draft placement. It's I'm never really the biggest gambler on some of that stuff. I feel very uneasy. What is that?
Somebody dropped us a tip.
What?
Somebody dropped us a tip.
Somebody dropped it as a tip?
Yeah. Dead serious.
A tip for what? The service?
For booze.
Like they just set $20 down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, they better pay for it.
Put a tip jar up here?
Yeah, why not? Be like the little rascals when they got the money for the car. Sorry, it's we're live, and yet I'm out here like crafting a tweet, not talking. I'm still in stun mode. I got to be honest. I'm still like processing.
Not just that. I'm trying to gather as much intel as I can.
I figured you are.
And see where things go from here. And somebody give me a shot or a margarita. I had a little bit of both. I had a mojito. In fact, I need another one.
You might want to keep this. It's
Uber money?
You're getting past the expense reports for the company. Odyssey is not going to be like, oh, yeah, we got all these drinks for him? No problem.
Do you know how much money that sales team drank at Bricks?
I can't even fathom what that was.
Okay, they can float me some mojito.
But is Kim here? Is our boss here?
No, she's gone.
Did she give somebody else the card?
Yeah, no, we have an open tab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm just saying this openly on the stream.
If I wasn't on, well, I mean, whatever. If I wasn't on solo dad duty from today until Sunday, I would partake.
This was the interesting one to me.
Oh, Asar.
Asar Thompson.
Asar Thompson. How about the Thompson twins? Good for them. That's a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, going to basketball hells, Detroit and Houston.
Hey, it's hell till you make it heaven. You know what I mean? At
I
some
guess.
point, the Warriors in my lifetime were a purgatory hell, and then they figured it out.
It's true. Woo, doggy. The interesting part here is kind of what the Trailblazers are doing with pick 23. It's going to be a little while until we get there, so it's going to be a little bit of a holding pattern. What happens out of all this? I don't know. Who's going to be the guy here for you that falls?
Well, the popular one would be Whitmore,
Yep,
and how he's fallen out of like a lot of mocks.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to go next? What's your best bet?
Oh, God.
And also, I just want to be on the record today because a year from now, I'm so tired of hearing every year, next year's draft reportedly is not very good. I feel like we hear this every time.
But no, next year's draft is like. I mean, we knew this draft was going to be good.
Sure, because we knew Wemby.
Scoot and Wemby
and Scoot
were like, you had two legitimate dudes
right
in this draft.
But my position on this draft stuff is I just think with the international aspect of the game, man, this stuff is deeper than we think. And I just think a year from now, a different tune will be sung.
The interesting thing here for next year is that next year's draft does line up to be not great.
Yeah.
But 2025 is shaping up to be an all-timer.
Yep.
So you could have a meh draft sandwiched between 2 months of drafts. And what does that do for team building kind of going forward?
Mm-hmm.
Kirk, I will take whatever bet you want on Scoot being Rookie of the Year. I will take every penny from you.
You don't think there's a chance?
Not a chance.
What if Dame is dealt? No.
Not a
you think it's
snowball's
Victor,
chance
huh?
in hell.
It's Victor,
Yes.
isn't it?
It's not. His odds to get drafted might be worse than his Rookie of the Year odds.
Minus 20,000 this morning.
His Rookie of the Year odds might be worse than that.
I put my entire DraftKings account on a ticket just to see what it would net me on Wemby.
Like 10 cents.
$1.
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah. Wemby's going to walk away with Rookie of the Year. Walk away with Rookie of the Year. Orlando's pick is in, and Orlando's in such a weird spot.
They are in a weird spot because I like a lot of the pieces. Like, what do you add to that?
You add playmaking and versatility.
Even more. All right. Because you got Cole, you got Suggs. Paolo can get you a bucket.
It definitely sounds like they're looking to trade Cole and Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac for sure. There's been a lot of noise around him. I love that Woj tweets out, the entire time, they've always been in on Brandon Miller and Charlotte. They never wavered once.
Well, Michael Jordan didn't.
Michael Jordan probably didn't.
New ownership group, they didn't.
I hope Jordan is asked about the whole Paul George GOAT thing because I'm sure he's going to have a really good laugh at that press conference.
Yeah, that's to be a fun press conference. If the Blazers trade Dame, I don't know what they'll do with Jeremy, to be honest.
Sign and trade. You got to be pulling for a sign and trade. You
Yeah.
got to get some asset
You
for
want to
that.
get that fifth year?
Yeah. Yep. I had a guy, I can't pinpoint him right now, but there's somebody near us, and before the pod started, came up to me and said he thinks we get Zion a different way than trading the third pick. And I was like, how do you do that? And he goes,
Kidnap him?
Ant and 23. And I go, they have no interest in that. He goes, well, they want Scoot. They'd probably take Ant. And I go, no, they won't. No, they won't.
You'd have to go full Celtic pride and kidnap him. And it would take more than me to kidnap Zion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. We'd have to.
I can't just pick him up and take him.
It'd take you, me, Sukanik, and maybe 5 other people because of where he's at right now physically. Here we go, Orlando.
Orlando's going to go with Anthony Black here.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
I like that.
Black is the guy, like, if
I love the fro, too.
in a perfect world, I really like his game.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, he can be a future point guard. No, he can't. But he can be a very good secondary playmaker.
Sure.
His assist-to-turnover ratio at Arkansas was 1-to-1,
Yep.
which is not good. But you asked a guy who's never been a point guard to run your offense because Nick Smith has been injured.
And what did Arkansas do? Nice little season.
They had a nice little season in spite of all their injuries.
Yep.
So
I love the fit, too. He's going no shirt, chains, nice jacket. Classy look. That's going to age well. When he's 45 and looks at that photo, he's going to go, man, I was good looking.
I look good.
Yeah, I look good.
He's going to go full Will Smith. I made this look good. I realized there were rumors about Dame being in contact with Scoot. Any chance that he signed off on Scoot? He could sign off on Scoot in the value sense based on what deals were available. I don't think even Dame signed off, so to speak, on Shaden.
Yeah, this whole, like, signing off on something, and he's been talking to him. Like, a lot of young players talk to guys like Dame. Dame loves basketball. But I read a couple of things that Dame did not long ago on his own Modelo tour where you got 5 minutes with him, and his messaging seemed to come across more of, yeah, he's a good player. And then, like, you kind of fill in the blank. I'm not interested in doing this,
like,
you know?
It's a kid.
Yes. He's what? He's 19?
He was born after 9/11.
That's wild to me. Most of these kids are, you know?
Now they are entirely. And it's
He's asking if you want something to drink.
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
He's had 4.
We're good. The one.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you want drinks?
They want to get you housed.
Yeah, I know. Like,
because they want you to really give up even more. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, what have you heard?
wow,
besides-
we have the first major upset of the draft.
Who is?
Bilal Coulibaly.
Is this the French kid?
And
Side
the
on that guy.
Pacers taking a massive, massive swing.
That is a big swing, man. Holy.
We heard he was
jeepers.
rising up the board, but I didn't think he was rising up the board.
Set.
Danny, how is he not Westbrook 2.0 in the sense
Who?
of Scoot? He is.
Oh, yeah, and I know we went. I just won. Like, let's give him some time before we conclude he'll never be able to shoot. He's a hard-working kid.
Well, I'm saying, like, stylistically, he's Rose Westbrook. Like, he's going to put an immense amount of rim pressure on a team.
And there's obviously some hole in the game, but, like, I'll debate and push back a little. Like, Westbrook would win. He was, how's he had his butt off. He's better than this guy or that guy. There's an element of that I love. An
And
FU.
it was the Wizards who moved up. The Wizards have moved up, and they were making that pick for the Pacers.
So the Wizards are sitting in this
They're
absolute restart. Wow. Wow.
to be getting one of Cam Whitmore, Jarris Walker, or Taylor Hendricks.
That narrows it down.
But, I mean, I don't think you would have expected that group probably to be there when they were picking.
Who would you go with if you're the Jazz? Because the Jazz are interesting. You know, I think the Jazz can win a little quicker than people think. I mean, damn, they were winning a lot sooner this year than we thought.
It's interesting which way it's going to go.
We're live.
That's the one thing is everybody wants to walk over and talk too.
How do we? The headphones are on. What do you think we're doing?
It's usually a pretty dead giveaway. Usually wait until we pop them off.
And I love that it's just an instant. All right, what are we doing with Scoot's value right now? And it's like, oh, well.
The alcohol is definitely flowing.
Oh, for sure.
There's no doubt about that.
And the sun is out, too, so.
Guys are getting sun-baked out there. The patio's packed.
Well, I hope people are drinking water, man, because you start drinking some sun, you start feeling it hard. Man. We got Scoot. Now, it's a little ways off here, but the rumor mill stuff of 23 is going to be interesting. So let me throw this at you, because we've long been hearing, Hyken said it, I know you've been on it, trading 23, okay? Let me roll through this with you for a second. They had a lot of guys, well, not a lot. They had some guys come in here and work out for that kind of draft area. I'm wondering.
They brought in significantly more people at the second-round pick range than that 23 pick
This
range.
is, again, a front office staff that values development, and it's obvious to me what is going or needs to happen, and I know they're going to kick that can tonight and not say anything about trading Dame, but I wonder what the reality is of trading versus keeping and taking a player and saying, yeah, build another guy up.
In my discussions with folks around the league, the belief is that the Blazers would not want to bring on really anybody else that would require development like as a first-round pick would, where you have to invest into them fully, where you have to give them minutes, where you have to give them opportunities, where you have to figure that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
If the Blazers are going to do that, it's likely with a second-round pick, where you are not, like Jabari Walker, they develop in the background. They are not. You're not getting questions about why they're not playing. You're not getting questions about why they're not in the rotation. It's much easier to do that on the background.
Because I think I heard you today, and I think I've heard you say it a couple times, but basically saying look to add vets, right? That's the way to appease Dame to stay for now. Look to add vets, and 23 might be that avenue. But this stuff, I mean, it's just it's ever so changing. Like what time in France? How far ahead are they in France? 9 hours?
Yes.
So it would be. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But I bet you he's awake for this.
I know for a fact he's awake.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be.
I know for a fact he's awake.
What did the DM say? Bullshit.
Say I'll know for a fact he's awake. So.
Yeah, I like seeing him too at the fashion shows, like right on the runways, just watching all these things go on in Paris, drinking with his boy Jeremy.
I actually really like this pick for Washington, by the way. I feel like you're in a position where you're just trying to find something that sticks. And he's not going to be ready for a couple years. You're going to suck anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
People are still holding out hope they trade him. I got people saying Kobe and the Hornets, Wiggins and the Cavs.
Sure.
Like, yeah, few and far between though. They tweet. I would more wonder if they were thinking about doing that. Would they have tweeted so quickly with a photo of him? I don't know about that. Makes you look weird.
I will say,
just being active on social.
no, there were discussions that were had, which is why it did take about 15 minutes for that photo to come out. Because if you don't think that graphic is ready to fire away immediately,
Sure.
you're crazy.
Yeah.
I would imagine there was another phone call with a potential team, and Joe said no. Not enough.
They like him. They like him.
I was told by multiple sources that the Portland Trailblazers were thrilled to add either one of them.
Yeah. There was a brief moment today, as this has been every day during this process, where the odds had shifted, right? It went from Scoot to Miller to Scoot. And there was a moment in my brain where I'm like, Miller, albeit young and going to have his ups and downs, he does fit the positional need they need. That's the way to, hey, let's get some vets. We're running a little young, but we've got this good mix here. Threading the needle is what they keep saying.
I'll tell you guys right now, Jaron says social media team and basketball ops are different. I'm telling you right now for a fact that the Portland Trailblazers social media team is not pushing yes on that without getting the okay from the runner from the war room. So what happens is the war room at the practice facility, you've got Joe, Sergey, Mike, Andre, Asha, Cherie, Jody, Bert, Chauncey, probably the training staff and medical staff, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But those people are for sure in there. And what they're going to have is they're going to have a runner on the PR team. And that runner on that PR team is communicating back and forth with the social team that's not in there. And they're green lighting, hey, discussions are done, you have the okay to go ahead and push okay on that. That's how this stuff goes.
Usually, yes. Now, the Kobe thing is so long ago, I'm not going to go that. Let's go the Wiggins route.
Sure.
In this hypothetical world people are living in.
But we also knew ahead of time.
Because of why? LeBron never put his name in the I'm excited to go to Cleveland thing. It was a dead giveaway. It was like, wait, he's excited to come back, but why would he not mention the number one? He named 4 players. Not one of them was Andrew Wiggins. And it was like, that smells fishy. There's your Kevin Love trade. So I know some are holding out hope. I'm seeing some of the comments that some of you are done. And I understand the feeling. There's this part of me too, but I will respond with, I think when it actually comes push to shove, no matter how you feel about Damon, he's universally beloved. When you have to do this, you're going to see those two dudes play on the court and go, ooh, my God. And they're only in their 20s. You're going to watch the steps grow. But I can't change how people feel.
I thought you were talking about Dame and Scoot, and I'm like,
no.
You're not gonna see what the
You know my position on this. It's not going to change. Nobody can talk me out of how I feel about that.
It's ugly.
Yeah.
For everybody out there who's trying, well, I'm going to figure this out.
Well, I had somebody, he deleted the tweet. I wanted to respond. I'm okay with people disagreeing or pushing back.
I'm just saying, 6'2", everybody's bitched about 2 small guards for years, and now you're going smaller. So don't.
Wait, he's got the reach though.
Oh my! There's a literal roof for me to jump off of.
Please don't.
This one might kill me.
Welcome to the Jack Ramsays. Brandon Sprague here. We're doing the solo podcast now. My co-host has jumped off the roof.
Yeah, this fall might get me.
Might get you?
I mean, I'd have to go head first to make sure.
You think you could survive even landing on your feet?
Yeah.
From here?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I would assume if I fell this high, I'm dead. It's over.
My bones are already broken and brittle, so they'll just act like, softeners.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you did it intentionally, it'd be awful. But, like, if it accidentally happened, that sucks.
Yeah, go face first, coward.
It's still not as bad as the submarine thing.
Oh, God.
Did you see the aunt of that 19-year-old kid? Why would you put that out? Kind of makes it worse, doesn't it?
Kind of?
The kid was terrified. He didn't want to go, but it felt his dad made him. I'm like, first of all,
Maybe not.
if that's true, that's terrible. We got to get sidetracked by the submarine, but
Please say this is Westbrook 2.0. I mean, no?
why should you root for this team, Josh? And that's a fair thing to feel right now. What's your alternative? You're really going to turn the TV on and see the uniform and stop? I think that's – we're emotional. We don't want to lose Dame, and we haven't yet, but I just think it's going to be different when you get closer. And there's a whole bunch of things, I think, Danny, as we wait to hear Joe tonight, what they do with 23 to react to and kind of start sorting out everything that's in front. And right now, it's like there's still so much up in the air, you know?
Ronan is maybe the most inept GM in the NBA. Way to push your chips in, bud. I get the reaction.
And that's going to be, I think some of the questioning tonight is going to be that. You said chips in the middle, and the end-of-season press conference was we got to bypass guys and can't care what they're going to do because we got to take big swings. It's just not the big swing direction I thought they were going to go. It went the opposite swing way.
Okay, and let's go pie in the sky here.
Yeah.
Let's say that the Blazers find a way to package something for a new starting big. Let's say Jared Allen because his name's out there. Does that save this for you? Does that save the night?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Some version of Nurk 23. Let's say they go unlock it first.
Yeah.
And Nas for Jared Allen and Nasir Little.
If you could get Jared Allen, it may change the thing, but I think what Dame's ultimate sticking point could be speculation. You want me to run with a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old who's going to be 21? Like, Jared Allen's great. I think he'd fit really well here with Dame and Scoot and everybody. Jeremy obviously having the veteran stuff. Maybe he had a couple vets on the bench. I just think Dame would have to evaluate. Am I being realistic by saying I'm going to stick and we're going to win? If you think it's going to take 3 to 4 years to win, you're kind of looking at a Chris Paul situation. And I think the dude is such a competitor that at this point it's like I can get in a much better competing situation than waiting for this to pop. And by the way, it is waiting and hoping because no matter how you feel about these guys, nothing is a done deal in the NBA draft.
And nothing's guaranteed. Nothing.
And leaving, he said that. Leaving doesn't guarantee he wins either, right?
And that's the thing is that if you're looking, again, silver lining, I'm playing that side of it now.
Yeah, I want to.
If you're Damian Lillard, if you look around the Golden State Warriors just did to get Jordan Poole the fuck out of Golden State.
Yep.
We haven't even talked about that trade yet.
No, we haven't.
The Warriors were so done with Jordan Poole that they traded Poole and picks to get $30 million Chris Paul.
Yes. Who we're going to run the bench unit, but, like, we'll see, that's more about getting off Jordan Poole's contract than it is getting Chris Paul.
Out of the locker room.
Yes. Well, look, Draymond shouldn't have done what he did, but they all said he started being different because he had that finals little performance, and then he knew he was getting the bag, and it was like, me.
And then to keep him from going to the cops.
Yeah. I mean,
they go and they pay him.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what angle you come at this from. I understand that just about everybody is coming at it from a very pessimistic angle.
Yeah.
Folks, do not get it twisted right now. I am not happy. I'm just not.
No.
But I'm also very much in the same way with last year. I was frustrated because at the time I didn't know what the ask was. And because I know what some of the asks were coming into the draft tonight. I want them and wanted them and continue to want them to trade the pick. Let's walk through the options real quick. I think valued Pascal Siakam that put trade. Between guys
and you're just like, hey, come here for
and his
to win next year. It's certainly enough to make you better than the team's going to be next year. No matter who they add, that team, and I'm A-okay with them not getting Pascal, okay?
Hold on.
What?
The audio's going again. Everybody's
Oh, boy, that's just bad luck.
It is.
Just restart it. Last time we restarted, it worked.
Oh, boy.
Can people hear us? I can't tell. Now the audio is cut.
Well, they're 30.
I think it came back.
No, they're 30 seconds behind us, so I have to let it
People
catch
keep
up.
saying stop moving. Guys, we have really long cords. It is not a moving around problem.
Interesting. Oklahoma City is acquiring number 10.
I mean, they've got more than enough capital to do what they want to do with that.
Guys, it has nothing to do with restarting the stream. It's the internet. And
Oh, it's better now. It's back. We're good. Okay, so you were mid. Go. Okay, maybe it was me or you. I don't know where we stopped. I would just say with Pascal, I'm okay with them moving on from. But in the relative now, next year, Pascal, Dame, Jeremy, Shaden wins more to me than what they currently have. And I know they're not done, but that doesn't mean they're competing either. And I mean, that's the tough thing.
Interesting. So Dallas is moving back 2 spots to get off of Davis Bertans.
That's a smart move.
What they're doing
Smart,
there is
smart
to
move.
free up cap space because they're trying to sign somebody in free agency.
Brooke Lopez,
I have
Kyrie, Luka, Brooke.
I have heard Brooke Lopez linked to a team in Texas, and it is not Dallas.
Houston? They think they're going to win next year? That's good for Brooke if he gets the bag, but that's dumb. Dallas has got to get him. That's a great fit. Dallas with Kyrie, Luka,
Oh, not
or
Brooke.
Brooke, excuse
No.
me?
Not Dallas.
No. You're saying he goes to Houston, right? But if they're doing what you're saying, maybe they make a run at it. Because they got to add somebody to that equation. You're not winning with Luka and Kyrie. That's just not working.
I don't even know if Kyrie's returning. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be stunned by that, but
People are saying that I need to say what I said earlier. Long and short of it is,
Dallas going with Whitmore.
yep, that's a big move for them. The newsbreakers on this side.
Oh,
So
gotcha, okay.
That's just comments.
Sending 12 and a TPE to Dallas as part of the trade.
Yep. So they get an $18 million traded player exception because the Thunder had cap space.
Wow.
As it pertains to Dallas is for sure getting Jeremy. Where do you guys come? Like
Maybe they're seeing somebody we don't know. That's the thing with the. Hey, what did I tell you when I got here? And you were like, "Who did it?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know his name is." And then I found it. I'm like,
And then you showed it to me, and I go, "That's the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen." I don't know. I don't know where you guys get this stuff. But what I was saying as it pertains to Pascal Siakam is this: his agent sabotages value. Pascal and OG are going to combine to make $80 million on their next deals. Dame and Jeremy are going to make $80 million next year. You have $160 million tied up in those guys. There's no reason to do that. There's just no reason to do it. Look, I've had a couple drinks. I'm not going to hold my looks back. Normally I would.
There's a lot more people on Twitter thinking they're trading Scoot still, and that's wild to me. Or that they're going to trade and get some. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll trade 23 and get what they need. But
You know what that's called? It's called bargaining. It's the stages of grief, sir.
well, I just was like admitting that I was a little bummed because they never took a legitimate swing with Dame, and I got all these people like, draft's not even over, man. Do you even know basketball? It's like, okay, all right. So we just took a 19-year-old 6'2" point guard, and you want me to sit here and act as if they're still going to get LeBron James? Like, come on, man. Thank you. Thank you for tweeting that out. That is exactly what it is. You never know, man. Come on, brother.
That's an interesting question from Brad Schmidt. Simons for Keldon Johnson. Who says no?
What's Keldon's contract? Remind me of that. That'd be interesting to have Simons with Victor.
4 years, 74, so $18.5 million.
Yeah.
It must be an escalating. It's a de-escalating. Ooh, that's a nice contract.
Fits the. He plays the 3.
He does.
So you'd have, in that scenario, you'd be Dame, Shaden, Keldon, Jeremy,
insert center here.
insert center, and Scoot gets Ant's minutes, which would be a decent amount. Maybe not as many, but like he'd get a good amount of minutes.
That's interesting. I don't outright rule.
I would be shocked. Dwight tweeted, I would be shocked if Scoot isn't traded.
Scoot is not a combo guard who can play with Dame, and Dame won't play off ball, and the Blazers
They're
aren't
waiting
gonna
for the
buy
best deal.
any deal Dame that leaves Scoot on the move. They're just waiting for the best deal. Look, again, it's the reason why I have said wait through all the way through.
Hey, I have no problem leaving my tweet up, and if they make the move, I'll applaud it. Standing ovation. But we're talking about one of the most coveted guards in a long time. This dude is supposed to be the real deal Holyfield.
Interesting. We'll go through some of the comments on here. Keldon and Grant were Team USA with Dame. Yep. Is management and ownership not to blame here? I would caution against saying, again, torches and pitchforks, August 1st. That's when it makes sense.
If you put up a poll question right now, will the Blazers trade Scoot? Do you think more people would vote yes or no?
The bargaining is strong right now. I'd go 75-25.
Yes?
Yes.
Or you think people would vote yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. People are right now sitting in this. This isn't real. We're gonna get out of this.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's quite literally bargaining. Yeah. There's 25% are the people who are like, Scoot is a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
And it's like, number one, shut up. Almost nobody's a Hall of Famer.
I usually respond to that with, of course, every basketball player is. It's a joke of a Hall of Fame.
That's true. But also, of Dame's draft class, two.
Yeah. Specifically that one. Yep. It's very rare.
It's incredibly rare.
Yeah.
The math says you're going to have 4.5 All-Stars each draft.
Mm-hmm.
One will likely be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Do you think that's Wemby or Scoot? Or Bilal Coulibaly?
I'm more inclined to say all. but the math doesn't agree with that.
Orlando is taking Michigan's head coach's son, Juwan Howard, Jet Howard's kid at number 11.
Wow.
Anthony Black and Jet Howard. They went for size.
They did.
They added 6'7" and 6'8".
That's a big team. That is a big, big team. Man.
Danny, what should Cronin have done? Included Sharp? No. No, he shouldn't have. For the people that are still that are very angry right now, what would you want Portland to do with pick number 3?
I mean, you have to take the player because if you weren't shopping or getting the trade you want, you have to take that player. You can't just be like, well, I already got one. This is maybe a generational point guard here.
It's funny, Orlando is the anti-Blazers.
What did it say? Hold on. Oh, I lost it.
But they also haven't picked number 1 outside of Paolo. Orlando is one of those teams that just never moved up until last year outside of Penny and Shaq.
Yeah.
They just kept getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over again on their draft lottery odds. You wanted to trade it for Zion? Okay. In that situation, you're giving up Shaedon Sharpe.
Well, that seems to be the problem here is they wanted Shaedon in that trade.
Sean McMurray says Simon does not seem to have much value. What are you basing that on?
I brought this up today. I was talking about this. Was not that he didn't have any value. I'm more fascinated or curious. Like, and maybe he gets dealt here in 20 minutes, and we can say, that aged well, Sprague. I'm more curious. Like, why have I not heard his name at all? Outside of like one Zach Lowe reference, it's either Dame or nothing from us. And I'm just like, he's 23. His contract's great. He shoots 40% from. I'm just like blown away genuinely that we don't.
Around in the league as one of the premier 3-point.
And that's why I'm surprised we really haven't heard a lot of noise about him in terms of trade. Now I'm not saying he won't be, and I'm not even saying he doesn't have value. I'm just more curious why.
This is good from El Poi. If there was no pathway to Zion without Sharpe, Brown not available, and the Nets not budging on McHale either, I guess you take the guy everybody seems to think to be special. I'm still mad, though. That is a totally acceptable, rational answer.
Yeah.
Totally acceptable, totally rational. I'm there. Like, I'm trying to rationalize this as me. It's my answer.
Well, this isn't to, like, relieve anybody of blame here. I think where I'm sitting right now that this is happening and it's happened, I'm sitting more in this, this is 10 years of frustration. This is 2015 to today.
It's not right now. It's the frustration is built upon from.
It's collective. Yes. It's
collective angst.
Well, somebody was like, was there a deal to be had? And I'm like, since 2015, there wasn't one. I refuse to believe that. Just the previous guy didn't want to relinquish a certain player. And they didn't, so far, haven't made the move with this current administration. So it's just a collective, like, since 2015 frustration of I just wanted this dude to have a shot. Maybe he will. Maybe there's something that's going to come out of the blue, and I'll be wrong.
Again, we still have time. We're now almost halfway through to the Blazers picking again at pick number 23.
Sure.
The Dallas Mavericks are going to select Derek Lively. He is the big riser of this draft. Obviously, so is Jet Howard. My God.
I didn't know Jet Howard was going to go that high.
I didn't think he was going to be a lottery player.
And not see that on the mocks.
I had him, I think, 18, 19 in in my cumulative.
Brandon Miller doubling down. I didn't grow up watching LeBron. I grew up studying Paul George. Oh, you didn't study the guy that beat Paul George every year in the playoffs and won chips? Okay.
But the Mavs have addressed their center position. They go take the swing on the real only center in the draft that everybody liked. I was told Derek Lively's workouts, he shot the shit out of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything at Duke this last year. Under 6 points, under 6 rebounds.
Yeah.
But athletic profile that you would not believe. Big as hell.
Sometimes those are the underrated things that have to happen. Kind of like when Denver got more draft picks and you're like, ah, crap. They're going to find like 4 more Christian Browns, aren't they?
Cody O says, my only frustration is Scoot did not look excited at all to be selected by the Blazers.
I think he was hoping for the obvious thing, right? Like going to New Orleans, it's like, yo, here you go. Portland right now, it's just murky.
That's the thing. It's like he's saying the reason he's probably not excited is the same reason why I've caveated it this way. He knows he's the 4th guy.
Yes.
And
today, right now, he is.
Not the 4th guy on the team, the 4th guy in the guard rotation.
Yeah.
When you're a top rookie, you don't want to go to a team and sit.
Mm-hmm.
You want opportunity.
Well, somebody asked, why are you guys so sad? I'm pretty neutral. I've been frustrated. I've been excited about Scoot. It's not a sad thing, man. You got to remember that this is a process, right? There's a lot processing right now.
It's all live. We aren't thinking about it. It's on the fly.
Well, and I can't. When we leave and you go to the facility, I'm racing home. I'm picking my kids up, and I'm basically like, yo, watch TV. Because I cannot wait to hear what is asked and what is said. Because here's the other part. If they're going to deal Scoot, if that's indeed still alive, like people think it is, he's not going to say that. We're not going to get that answer tonight.
I'm interested in just talking off the record.
Yes.
The press conference is one thing. I'm interested in talking to folks off the record.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. If I'm being bluntly honest, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Somebody keeps spamming in here that don't ignore my comment. What?
You ain't acting neutral.
Don't ignore
Have you hung out with me?
Danny, don't ignore that 8-1 comment. What 8-1 comment? Why do you think it's going to get better? We still have Jody and Cronin because they still have moves to be made. Look, man, I'll be honest. Like, people who talk like this, I'm so fucking tired of just people who have absolutely no informed opinion whatsoever talking about things and certainties. Like, I know that's fandom, but when people get angry and possessive and, like, you try to talk to me or Brandon or anybody else like that, it just makes me want to tell you to fuck off. I'll be completely honest. And that's not even the booze. That's just me. I'm just keeping it a buck.
15% booze, though. Well, let's be honest. It's 15% mojito.
I haven't had another one yet. But it's like, why do I have faith in it? Because I know what the organization has tried to accomplish. I've talked to people not only in the organization, but other teams the organization has tried to deal with. And this is before the draft. We said this in February, Brandon. August 1st. Because at that point in time, what's done is done.
That's the team.
Like, you're not changing anything.
When is Summer League? What are the dates? Do you remember?
July 7th is the first day of Summer League. And it's just...
Well, I mean, okay. Walk me down this. So that's really the date, isn't it? In terms of maybe not Ant or whatever, but like in terms of Scoot.
Well, July 9th is the day that Dame can be officially traded. That was when he signed his extension.
Right, I'm talking.
I'm saying, like, there's so many dates you have to get through.
Right. I'm talking if you get to, but if you get to Summer League, that trade's not happening. Scoot's a Blazer.
Wait, what?
If you get to Summer League, Scoot's a Blazer, right? He's not playing for the Blazer Summer League, and they're like, "Hey, you still want him?"
Here's the thing: if they get to Summer League, and he's not playing.
Well, there's maybe a giveaway there.
There's your red flag.
Sure, because Victor wants to play. I don't think Victor will play more than 2 games, but even Victor's like, I want to play. And I love that. But
Edmonton Oil at 83. Just frustrated because I believe in Cronin when he said he wanted to put the best team around Dame. This doesn't do that. This is the fourth point guard in the room and more like small ball. 100%. 100% agree. 100% agree.
That's where I would say the emotions are at right now. I'm excited for Scoot. When they get Scoot and Shaden on the court, if the letter O leaves, I will always miss Dame, but I will be genuinely excited to watch them. Ticket prices will be a little cheaper, and but I think that's if you're restarting, you're starting at a ground position of 6'2" with a 6'9" wingspan guy with ball, 6'5", maybe 6'6", with 44-inch vertical leap at the 2. It's like it's building the right way at that point.
See here, this is the other thing.
Yeah.
This is Don Shelshear.
Yeah.
This is like getting socks for Christmas when you're hoping for an Xbox. Fresh socks is great, but not to be massively disappointed. The thing about this is I don't think that's a great. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't think the analogy is correct.
Okay.
Because Scoot's not socks.
Well, what would be an equal where it's like it's not an Xbox, but you're like, after you get past the Xbox bumness, you're like, this is actually kind of a dope gift.
A drone?
I was gonna say like a basketball hoop, but
like I'm just saying like something that's
a
like
drone. That's a good 2023 thing.
That's what I'm trying, like,
I never understood what that was as a kid.
Like you got something that was super dope, but it's like I didn't want that.
Yeah, right. I can't play this with my friends.
You can, but like
can
but
you?
Not,
You
yeah.
can play with drones with your friends.
Yeah, you off, you know.
Well, I meant like Xbox Live. You could be at home, like, I'm going to mess you up, dude.
Run them into people, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that.
But, like, you got something super cool.
Yeah.
You can have fun with it. You can grow with it.
Sure.
But it doesn't necessarily fit with what you wanted to do right then and there.
Somebody's saying tomorrow morning Sprague will be back to what the F are we doing? I'm kind of conveying that now, am I not? Like, you have to separate these opinions. The opinions of, hey, we're going to restart if that happens, but we're doing it with Scoot and Shaden is not the same opinion of, well, they did exactly what they said they were going to do, and you should have full trust in everything. Those are separate things. I will tomorrow morning be asking out loud, how did we tease that some big swing was going to happen if they don't do it tonight and then end up just basically doing a youth movement? That's exactly what I will say tomorrow. It's exactly what I said today. It was like all indications were a Zion trade was what they wanted. Now, the Shaden element of this is a different story. But you have to separate these two. In a vacuum, if I'm to evaluate the team-building thing, if they're not going with Dame, Scoot and Shaden are a hell of a restart. Remember when it was Martell and Telfair? Like, you know what I mean? It's a drastically different
dark
feeling.
days.
Yes, I was at the Dark Day games. They gave us those tickets at high school because nobody wanted to watch that team play. Everybody will want to watch this team play. They know they won't win a ton of games, but people will want to watch Scoot and Shaden. Those are, Gabe, to your point, those are different things to me.
They are mutually exclusive. They are. Everybody would say they aren't mutually exclusive. In this case, they are.
Yeah.
They are exclusive.
And if Joe hammers it down tonight, whether it's posturing or not, but Joe comes out and was like, we love Scoot. He's a really good talent. We love what we could do with him in the future, building all that, yada, yada, yada. I'm also going to react to that too, because that's what we do, is react to what we hear and what we see.
Is it just me, or is the draft slowed down to a screeching halt?
Well, what are we on right now? I've stopped watching it. I've just been stuck in this haze of like, I'm looking at it, but I'm thinking about everything Portland.
What
pick are we on?
Danny, does the inability to make a deal fall on the Blazers' negotiation skill or rest of the league's willingness? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Both.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. If it looks like I'm squinting at this, I literally ripped my contact out before we came on air. So it was like twitching, and the allergies was getting me like crazy.
I'm just glad the sun beaming on us. The sun beaming on us doesn't feel as hot. I was legitimately sweating when they made the pick.
It's cooled down a little bit.
It's cooling down, which is when it's this in Portland, there's not a better city in America.
It's fantastic.
But I'm just glad it stopped being so damn hot.
But no, I don't think Joe Cronin's an idiot. I don't. But I also think that the Blazers organization, not just Joe, the organization as a whole, put a very – what did we say when the lottery hit? What was the number 3 pick? The single most valuable asset in the NBA,
not being the Spurs.
Not Wemby, not
right.
MVP. Like, it's the most valuable thing out there.
Yeah.
You don't settle. And that kind of goes into this next question. I recall Joe Cronin saying or comment that they were anxious to push their chips in, that some people might say we overpaid if they make a deal. Basically empty words. I don't think they're empty words. Pushing all your chips in blindly isn't good. Dusty and I were talking before the show. What would, I think you and I talked about this a little bit, what would the Blazers getting 80% of value for the number 3 pick look like to you?
Paul George. You're getting a massive contract on a 33-year-old who would impact, if healthy, winning with Dame, but it's an expensive-ass contract and a guy that cannot be trusted to be healthy. You are settling, maybe it's less than 80, but I think that's kind of the best comp of everything we heard. That's what I can come up with. You say, here's 3 for Paul George, and the Clippers are like, thank you, God. You're absolutely, and some people are going to go, well, they made a move to win with Dame. But if you're talking about less value for the pick, that's the name I would come up with. Because he's a good player. When he plays, he's good. There's no refuting that. So it's more of like, is he going to be healthy?
Not opening up future picks if you wanted to keep Scoot feels like not pushing your chips in. I haven't heard anything in dealings with Portland where a team has requested that the Blazers open up additional
The
picks.
future picks that they have, yeah.
Because that's not what teams are like. They are. They like picks.
Mm-hmm.
But in a general sense, if it's not a tangible pick right now, ASAP,
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same value. That's why I talk about like the Phoenix Suns picks.
Uh-huh.
When everybody's like, well, the controlling the Suns' future would be great. I'm like, what it?
Sure.
For the next 3 years, it won't. After that, maybe. So you're at least 4 years out before you even get to sniff it. Like, well, you could trade it. The further you are away from a pick, the less value it has. There's one organization where I'd be like, that's a good pick no matter what. Minnesota. Danny Ainge getting those picks for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Those picks are valuable. They will not trade them for anything.
No way. Hey,
Because
Grady Dick got picked. He's a Raptor. How is he not a Raptor in that jacket, by the way? Sorry to interrupt you.
He knew. Come on.
That's an awful outfit. That is not going to age well. He will get made fun of in 20 years.
He'll get made fun of tonight.
Well, I mean, yeah, but some people are like, so fly, man. He's Dorothy's shoes. But, like, no, that's terrible.
Tony Jones, no dick in Utah.
Dick in Toronto. All right.
Oh, I got a better one.
What do you got? I mean, you're not wrong. By the way, somebody, a couple people, they viewed more PG of 60% on that pick, and maybe that's inaccurate. I was just on the cuff, on the fly, thinking, like, what is less value? PG is less value. Maybe it's McHale. I don't know. What's McHale's ratio on that pick to you?
100%.
You think it's 100-100?
I think if the Blazers got McHale and Clax, they would do Ant Simons Ant Simons 3 and Nurk, and I think it's a them in.
Dame would have been really happy with that one.
It's not
through the roof.
It's not just the
no, I know the relationship,
but it's the positional versatility, it's the fit, it's the style,
the
it's their age,
the contract.
Like they tick every single box.
Yeah, that was the reason to me that so far that Brooklyn is like no, and it's the one area I've just never been like it's gonna happen. His contract is too nice for that. His contract is one of the better value contracts in the league, if not the number one for people. And I know Brooklyn's not in a good spot, but if I'm a Net fan, I'm like, I don't care. Like, we're rebuilding this with him and Clax. And I still maintain, I won't be shocked, Danny, if they end up getting somebody that we're like, man, Brooklyn got that guy? They wanted to go to Brooklyn, but it would work. No dick in Utah. Man, I can't escape anger.
Joey asks, is there any chance we take 3 rookies tonight? My intel says the Blazers are very unlikely to take more than 1. We'll see. We're finally getting closer to
We
the
are.
23rd
We're
pick.
creeping, man. We're creeping.
We're 10 picks away.
But this is when stuff, I mean, they've been working on it, obviously, but you start to kind of get the trickle-down stuff. Hey, there's noise. You know, Dallas, OKC a couple picks ago. Real loud. Monica McNutt killing it on the broadcast. Oh, she's doing the interviews.
Yep. She's been on the couch all night.
Great name. Love her work.
Hooper.
Look at that kid, man.
There's a problem we have here.
There's a what?
There's a problem we have here.
What?
It's still empty.
I mean, somebody did offer you a drink. You said no.
I know. I need to flag down the server.
I mean, they're right there. You want me to flag one? I got pretty decently long arms.
But I mean, I'm debating. I probably shouldn't have another one.
Yeah, I'm not going to dive in. I'm going to get home, pick my kids up, eat some dinner.
I do need something to drink because my throat is failing me. So if we can flag somebody, I need to get some water.
Listen to Joe, get a little blazed, kind of figure out where I'm at emotionally, you know. There's a lot of unpacking here. And by the way, I just want to say, like, there's a lot of people that, like, don't like some of the stuff or whatever that we're saying or agree with it. That's cool, man. Like, I love picking people's brains and hearing the different feedback. I really do. It's a passionate fan base. We care deeply about this, and some of us don't agree on everything. Whoa, just reporting something right now. But I'm always genuinely interested in seeing how people feel about all this stuff. Really am, even if it means I'm an idiot.
Again, I haven't done this all show. Thank you all for being here, even the people that I want to fight.
Touche. Yeah. We haven't said
Even
that.
the people that I want to fight. This is still fun. Being out here, being able to do this. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the only way they can.
Oh, I know. I just pointed. I don't know if you'd seen
Yeah.
it. Woj is reporting something, but I don't know what the hell he's saying. We should have subtitles on. What are we doing?
Hard to squint. I got one contact in. Again, thank you all for being here. Like, rate, review, subscribe. We've been well over 1,000 across all the platforms on what is a busy day. Jordan Hawkins is going to go number 14 to New Orleans.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What's your best bet of what happens? What does Joe say tonight? Let's do the guessing game here. No matter how wrong or right you are, what is your read on what you think the messaging is tonight?
I'll tell you what they say about Scoot Henderson publicly.
Okay.
They had a chance to draft a franchise cornerstone player that doesn't come across very often, and they could not pass up that opportunity, that the offers were not good enough.
Do you walk away from tonight even after – well, off-the-record conversations change things here, so this is kind of a tough question to ask.
Because, again, without even talking about the Blazers.
Yeah.
Mike Dunleavy Jr. became the general manager of the Warriors.
This was so good.
4 days ago.
And what did he say?
3 days ago, he said, we're looking forward to Jordan Poole being on our team the next 4 years. They traded his ass this morning. There are context clues in what GMs say publicly.
So good. So good.
And they do not tell us everything behind the scenes off the record.
Sure.
But.
Well, he's not going to run around and be like, actually, let me tell you about the trades we couldn't do.
Well.
You might get some of that eventually, but I don't know if you get that today.
Probably not tonight.
Yeah.
But we do get stuff eventually, and it helps frame things much better. Things that again, perfect example. Last year's draft night, I was pissed.
Yeah.
And
were you pissed?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Because once we found out that Toronto was asking for...
No. We didn't know what the ask. It was later into the broadcast that I found out.
Okay, I was trying to remember last year, and I felt like we knew that right as the draft had started. It was kind of like, yeah, you don't trade that for OG Anunoby.
I had heard that going in, it would be the 7 and 1 of Hard or Nots.
Mm-hmm. That's a no-brainer.
It's a steep price.
Yeah, it is.
It's a steep price. But I was like... OG, and I said that night, OG has the chance to be an all-defensive player.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been one yet. That was just somebody in the comments like, You can't do that. He's never been an all-defensive player. And then he went out this year and he was an
Right.
all-defensive player.
Yeah.
But I was frustrated. I was pissed.
Yeah.
And then I got information on what Masai had asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused me to reevaluate. And that's why I'm telling you guys to, like, reevaluate things. When, like, new information becomes available, that's why it's like, chill. I know it's I'm reactionary as hell.
How are you not? That's what
Yeah,
sports
it
is.
is.
It's the dumbest reactionary thing to get to, like, troll people on. It's like when you're watching a game in the moment and you're like, hey, this dude's he's awful. Yeah, in the moment when I tweeted that, he was awful. I didn't know he was going to score 28 points in the fourth quarter. Let me react to that. Like, let's stop Can we start time-stamping tweets and opinions? We never allow for that to happen, right? So, like, my reaction to when they drafted Scoot is like, damn, man, this is not encouraging for the future of Damian Lillard. That's not a position of need given what they have, and like, they might make a trade, and if they make a trade, I will react that way. Like, allow for some emotion to be mixed in with this stuff. Some people are way too frigid and quick to be like, what a stupid opinion. It's like, well, in the moment, man, how do you not feel this, right? Like, I'm a fan. I want this team to be good, and I want the Letter O to win. And if I don't feel like, oh, man, Scoot and Dame are going to be multi-all-stars together, it's because I've lived through it. I saw it with CJ, and this is not a knock on Ant. I just think he needs the ball. I don't know if Ant is an off-ball guy. I think he thrives better with the ball. He had to play more off-ball, and then they got hurt. And, it's just a reacting and having emotion in the moment, Danny, it's okay to me. I don't
Absolutely.
kill people for it. And I know there's a local guy saying he still thinks there's a trade coming. Maybe there is.
Could be.
And then I'll be like, yo, Joe got it done. New Orleans needed more time than 5 minutes. They're evaluating. Joe's pressing them even harder. All right, they've backed off Shade, and they'll give you Zion for Scoot. There you go. We've got the deal. And maybe filler.
Kobe Buffkin is going to go to the Atlanta Hawks. He falls out of the lottery. There was thoughts of him being the big riser. Bilal Coulibaly going so much earlier probably pushed him back a little bit. Derek Lively probably pushed him back a little bit, but he was one of the big-time risers. He was expected to be a lottery pick, goes somewhere between 10 and 12, but he goes 15 to the Atlanta Hawks.
What do we make of Whitmore dropping?
Plummeting. This is very reminiscent of Nasir Little. Nasir Little was supposed to be a 10, 12, 13 guy.
Yep.
He fell all the way always down to Portland in the 20s. What's crazy about that is that on that draft night, the Portland Trailblazers, I believe, were preparing to select Dylan Windler from Belmont. Dylan Windler from Belmont was going to be the pick until Nasir Little fell one more pick. And the Blazers moved up and took him at the next pick.
I know a lot of people probably watching the draft as well as watching on the live stream. Again, we love you. Thank you for hopping on with us here. I don't know. I can't hear any TV. I can only react to what I see on Twitter. I got somebody tweeting me saying Woj went on TV and said Zion's staying.
That was always the default position.
Sure. And I get it. He's 22 years old. I wouldn't have quit on that either. But
remember what I said. The chance of it happening was 1%.
Yeah.
What I said was.
It wasn't a very high. And I remember you saying it. I was like, that's disappointing.
Yeah. It's like there's a chance, but it's 1%.
But if Zion's off the board, who else would it be? That's it? Okay. Well, we'll see.
That might be it.
All right.
Joe Lieber asks, will we be getting a Danny After Dark late tonight after the press conference? It absolutely, unequivocally depends on my voice. If my voice is okay, we'll take a look at it. If the voice is fried.
Can I step in here
Sure.
and be dad again? You have a show tomorrow.
Like I said, if the voice is fried.
I think you
we'll
need
do
to cool
quickly.
it. I know people
Okay.
want it post press conference. People want the Danny Marang. I get it, but I think you got to cool it. I think we need the voice on the fan tomorrow. We will do a pod. I think we do the show tomorrow. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't. Well, I don't know about 23. That's different. Yeah. So far, we haven't had any chatter yet. Yeah. Keep hoping. That's all we can do is hope, right? Yes.
Can you keep us rolling for a second? I want to see if I can go snag a drink. Real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead. So now we're rolling.
I thought you guys were live. I was like,
Oh, we are. How you doing? Thanks for showing up again. Well, now it's just me. So we're sitting in this weird place right now. Danny will be right back. He's getting a drink. People are asking if they're going to trade 23. I don't know if they're going to trade 23. I'm in a much different position than Danny. He goes to all the facilities. He goes to everything. What I would say, though, is I kind of feel like personally it's a developmental staff. I think they thrive on young guys. Now, if they want to keep Dame, I'd imagine you gotta move something to get some veteran guys here to say, hey, we know we drafted a point guard, but stay. We can maybe make the play-in next year. And maybe it'll happen. But I've been resigning myself in hoping for the Zion stuff, and I know some of you don't want Zion, and I get that. I do. I'm not arguing against it. But what I would say is I've been putting myself in a position of expecting them to keep both picks, draft guys, and not trade Ant. And you can say that's idiotic. Why would you do that? Yada, yada. I think the staff kind of likes it. I think they like the idea of it. And that's the tough part is it goes against the letter O in that way. So, there's a lot to wait for here. Somebody, the guy over here, the listener, he asked, do you think to trade 23? And I was like, I don't know. There's no read on it right now. A lot of people think they will. And I'm just saying, like, I've mentally prepared for them to use both picks, go youth. And I wouldn't even be shocked if they keep Ant, man. Like, I think they value youth and talent, and they're holding their chips. And I hope to be wrong on some of this stuff. I really do.
Keontae George.
Keontae George?
To Utah. Woj is actually tweeting it out, which is interesting. He said,
because Shams.
He's like, all right, I'm going to need to, apparently need to step on the kid here real quick.
Shams was like, yo, Woj, you're not going to do it? I'm going to do it. And everybody loves to tell Shams he's amazing when he does it.
Well, I mean, Woj is like, all right, we're out of the lottery. Everybody can kiss my ass.
I mean, and he's right. For the most part, he's right. What do we have, 16? So this pick 16?
Yep. We're heading to 16.
7 away.
16 was Keontae. Again, thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. It's, again, thank you all for getting us over 5,000.
Wow.
We know we blew past 5,000.
I didn't know it, and I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm never aware of what's going on in anything, man.
I didn't notice it. I was working on it, the Patreon article on Monday night, and I went and looked at – I went to go grab a clip from YouTube real quick or read back on something, and I was like, oh, we're at like 5,070. Like, when did that happen? And so –
Bro, I feel like we should do the Rocky and Apollo handshake right now. 5,000. We did it. Thank you. Thank you to everybody, seriously.
It's a dumb, trivial number, but also not a dumb, trivial number. The show growing and continue. Every time we do a show, the show grows.
Oh, wait till the show's on television. So what do you think they're going to do at 23?
Uh-huh. Just throwing that out there.
Why not? What do they say? If you want it, just throw it to the universe?
Uh-huh. Yep, there's definitely nothing out there that would otherwise say that.
I've been shut down much worse than saying your TV show's not going to happen. I can handle that. It'd be dumb for them to say it, but...
Everybody keeps asking what's going on with Cam Whitmore.
Oh, man, I feel for him right now. He's definitely suffering from the Nas Little syndrome.
Yeah.
I will never forget that moment because I didn't know Portland was going to get him. I'll never forget seeing him on stage going, man, it's a clean suit. I wonder where he's going to go in the top 10. And it was like, yo, Portland could get him at, what was it, 21? What were they at?
20
something?
3. Ant was 24. I think Nas was 23.
Yeah.
I'd like to do this like weird, like everybody probably thinks I've drank a lot more than I have because I keep like doing this one-eyed squint.
Well, the sun is literally shining on our faces.
I literally
you took the thing out?
My contact is not in my right eye. It was thrown in when I was on air, I ripped it out and threw it in an empty Diet Pepsi can.
Yeah.
Dusty looked at me because I kept going like this over and over and over again for like 10
Dusty
minutes.
probably thought he was spitting in your face. He's like, damn, dude, am I hitting this guy that much?
Oh, I didn't have my contact case, so I had to throw it out. So,
Boy, by the way, can I say real quick as we're pausing? The Bleacher Report thing was fun. Thank you to everybody that tuned in on that.
yeah.
I don't know about you. So our normal like Zooms are live linked. I felt like there was a delay.
Oh, yeah, no, there was an offset.
So I was like, I thought you were done. I'd say something, and then I'm like, damn, he wasn't done.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, we stepped on each other more on that than we've ever stepped on each other.
But what I enjoyed about it was I was trying not to show my emotions on my face. I really loved reading the comments from people who never heard of us.
Oh, you know, because it was the national.
Holy hell. You were in the middle of a rant, and I'm like, okay, he's going, he's cooking. And a comment pops up. Does the guy on the left ever talk? And I'm just like, bro, he's cooking. And then, like, somebody else commented because you were wearing a hat. I was like, nice fitted hat, bro. And it just, like, I love that a national audience got to see two douchebags talking about the Trailblazers
That
for
was
30
great.
minutes.
It was like, kiss my ass. Here you go.
And then everybody, every trade we threw up, every comment was, they're not worth that. No way you're going to get that. Your team sucks. Give us your guy. It was just like every comment. Like, you don't think you're doing the same thing but for your own team here? Like, what are we talking about?
Let's see. Suns desperate. Ayton for Nurk, Nas, more for. I don't think the Blazers have had any interest in DeAndre Ayton for a while now. They did previously.
Yeah.
And obviously there's been reporting out in the last, week that Monty Williams did not like Jay Crowder or DeAndre Ayton, which,
I saw that.
duh.
I love that leaked.
Beyond that, I don't know.
Ayton would be fascinating to me, and I thought about this. It's probably done. That report came out that Vogel, he looks at him as a better Hibbert.
Which, yeah, Hibbert was stiff as a board.
I know.
But size-wise, that tracks.
It's one of my favorite moments is us making the Pacers pay Hibbert that contract.
Blazers have had a history of making teams do stuff like that.
They have. They absolutely have. But if you were looking for veteran stuff, rim running big, pick and roll, I mean, I don't know how excited Dame gets for Ayton, but it's a thing, you know?
Everybody keeps saying the Blazers should take Whitmore. It's like, we've all talked about how the Blazers need to avoid players with injuries, and now you want to go get the guy who's falling because he's injured?
I would really hate to watch him fall out of the first round. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I can't imagine.
If his medicals are that bad,
yeah,
that would be insane.
That's some bowl stuff, man. Hey, you sticking around for the second round, aren't you? You're like, yep, and my nice suit. Usually where second rounders are not hanging out in the green room.
Man. Yeah, because he got a green.
You remember that?
Yeah,
Bowl.
Well, I mean, I don't know how he got in that green room because
I think it was name.
Everybody I talked to was like, he's not look, man, he had a nice little run in Orlando this year, a little revival.
Yeah, that was nice to see. I felt good for him.
But his work ethic heading into the NBA was dog shit.
I mean, he barely wanted to play college.
It was atrocious.
Yeah.
He was an injury concern. He didn't love the game. I mean,
Yep.
his entire existence was a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, well, he's tall and he can shoot. It's like he's got a mixtape. It's like, so did Rafer Alston.
8th graders have mixtapes now, man. Imani Bates has a mixtape. He ain't been picked yet.
Julio Cantu, if y'all cheered for the tank to happen, you're complicit in this. It's not wrong.
That was always a possibility. It was always a possibility. I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to believe they were going to trade it. The last time we did a live remote, we were in a spot, and we said, oh, my God, they got 3. They've got the piece.
everybody keeps asking, where's the trade for 23? Where's the trade for 23? Where's the trade for 23?
I mean, we're still not there.
That's a team's not going to trade for that pick until at least the pick before.
Yeah, what are we on now? 17, 18?
Because they want to know exactly if their guy's going to be there. That's how those picks work.
Yeah.
That's just it doesn't. That's normal. That's not even like a how is this going to operate situation.
I'm enjoying this now, like talking some of this stuff out. I'm almost to a point mentally where I'm like, I really can't wait to hear the Cronin stuff. And by the way, would it just be Cronin, or do you think Chauncey shows up
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, 100% Chauncey does too.
Because that's a guy that, you always kind of assume what Joe does, Chauncey's in lockstep. They're working on that together. But I'd love to hear from him, though. There's been no indication.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, it's going to be interesting to see what comments and what questions kind of come out tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? I probably shouldn't say it out loud so they can't prepare anything. They're not watching. I'm being sarcastic. They're not watching. They've got much busier things to do.
Oh, yeah, this is the one they don't.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Although, can you watch tonight for me and check back in with what they said? These two idiots.
I will ask about Damon, communication with Damon. I will ask about.
I think that has to be.
I'll tell you right now. I mean, Heiken and I will probably tag team questions. As far as, hey, we'll ask each other. What are you planning to ask? What are you planning to ask? And we'll make sure we're not stepping on each other's toes. That we can ask. We cover as much ground as we can. And
yeah.
For those that don't know, that's how these press conferences go for media folks. We will kind of bounce stuff off each other.
Can anybody confirm to me that Woj said Zion's staying? I mean, I'm not saying that's not happening.
We don't have the audio on it here.
And nobody, the guy that tweeted is not responding. So I'm genuinely curious. Did anybody watching the draft too and hear Woj say they're not moving Zion? Just love some confirmation on that. If Woj said it, then yeah, it's like, all right, I can mentally move on. Rachel, where can I watch the press conference? Usually they stream that at trailblazers.com, right? Or they not do that?
It might be so late they might not stream it.
Might just be radio? I would hope the radio affiliate would do that.
No,
you have to.
No, Travis is on there till 10.
Okay.
But they may not be up to the podium by then.
Yeah.
I don't think we got started until like 10:30 last night.
By the way, thank you. He did say it. So, all right, there we go. He said he hasn't been offered for the last 2 weeks. All right, well, maybe that wasn't a Zion move. I don't know. You have to wait a long time for the truth on some of this stuff to come out. Maybe they switch, like, hey, we'll give you Ingram. No.
Scoot is a straight-up culture changer. Dude plays hard on both sides. Don't you think playing with Scoot is great for Shaden's development? No. No, playing with a Hall of Famer is great for Shaden's development.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, here we go. Jared saying from KGW, they're planning to live stream, so KGW will have it. That's a great move by KGW. Thank you, local news. I appreciate that.
Awesome. There you go. So there you go. You guys can catch it on KGW.
He said they never offered.
Discussions were had.
He's never perfect, but like.
But no, here's how you justify saying he's never been offered.
Right, the way it's phrased, right?
The way it's phrased, and when you're talking about it, would you do X for Y?
Not I'll give you or I want to give you. Yeah.
Or sharp, and as soon as it's sharp, it would, So.
I am. Yeah, man, it's what a day, and we still got another pick, maybe or a trade.
He said they offered the 14th and additional future picks. So that's cute for 3. Again, those future picks, they don't mean shit to the Trailblazers.
I know.
They don't.
Somebody saying, somebody you follow covers the Nuggets. We're falling asleep in the Nuggets media section. Yeah, it must be nice to cover a championship.
Well, yeah, not only that, their picks, I think, are
super late.
37, 40, 42.
Late.
Like they're all kind of in a row.
It's like a bam bam and then a break and then a bam bam.
Does Scoot project to be a good defender with a 6'9" wingspan? I think he projects to be a better than below average point guard defender.
Yeah.
But there's, real quick, Brandon,
Sure.
tell me a high usage point guard in the NBA who's a plus defender.
High usage point guard in the NBA that's a plus defender. I'm really bad on the fly.
We'll just go through point guards. Dame? No.
No.
Trey? No.
No.
Luka? No. High usage. Chris Paul in his prime, kind of.
He was okay. I never thought he was awful.
But his usage was, even though his assist numbers and ball handling were high, his shot volume was significantly lower.
How do you view Brunson? I don't think he's awful.
Undersized, he tries hard.
Yeah, that's part of the thing, though.
I would put him higher up on the list, but not a plus defender. Drew's not a high usage guy, but he's a great defender.
A hell of a defender. That's a guy that, looking back on the career, we're going to go, man, probably should have won a Defensive Player of the Year, but he won't.
He's right. I mean, he should be in the argument every year, basically.
Yeah.
Jaw, no.
No.
Harden,
Shea?
no.
No.
Shea, yes. SGA, no.
Fox, no. Man, that's hard.
You know why? Because it's fucking impossible. The guys that are plus defenders that have high offensive workloads are plus defenders because there's a secondary creator and they have size. Because you can rely on size to compensate for the lack of size, for that lack of size.
Tell me if you think I'm wrong on this. Maybe I misremembered. I remember the draft with Zach, and I remember they brought in Donovan. And Donovan has a somewhat similar build to Scoot, a super long reach, you know. And maybe I'm misheard or misremembering. I feel like I heard a lot of scuttlebutt that they thought Donovan was this. He's got a 6'9" reach. He's a good defensive player.
He was a harder-nosed defender at Louisville. No doubt about that.
And as soon as he got to the league, it was like, I'm going to operate now. And I'm not saying he's awful, but like he's definitely not known for it.
Come on in. Come on in.
Everybody wants to see Suk. Say hi, Suk.
Radio legend. Here, take mine.
You want in? Here we go. We're our first live guest.
Look at that. I'm part of the Jacked
Look
Ramsays
at
now.
this.
Let's do this.
How do you feel about the Scoot pick?
I'm a little bummed out. I mean, this is what I was saying. I get why. I thought, by the way, Sprague, I read your tweet on air, and I thought you said it perfectly. I was thinking the same thing. I don't have a problem drafting Scoot. I don't. I get it. If he's the best available and you think that's where you're going to go. But it bothers me that in 10 years, you had a generational player, a top 75 player of all time, and he played with one All-Star, and he was already here when he got here and didn't want to be here. You're telling me in 10 years you couldn't do one thing to get someone else around him? And then at last year's exit, or this year's exit interview, Joe Cronin, Chauncey Billups, and Damian Lillard all said that they were too young and too small. And you drafted a 6'2", 19-year-old point guard. Like, don't tell me one thing and then do another. Like Cronin said, I can't wait to shove all my chips in the middle. Like, well, and to be fair, it's a vacuum, right? We don't know. Maybe there's other things happening. But this, to me, as a fan, it feels like another in a long line of, I was promised one thing and you gave me another. And I to be fair, right, I haven't watched any of the G League Ignite. I've seen highlights of Scoot. But when you look at it, here's a guy that everyone's telling me is this generational player. Well, if that's true and that he would go number one overall in other drafts, well, he didn't go number one in this draft, and I get it. You got Wemby. But he wasn't generational enough for the Hornets to draft him. He wasn't generational enough, apparently, for Anthony Simons and the number 3 overall pick to get Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is a good player, but he's not a first-team All-NBA guy. 20-point, plays defense. And so, and no one, by the way, moved up to 2 or 3 to go get him. So I think it's a fair, not knocking Scoot, but is it a fair question to ask? Is he a generational talent when him and Anthony Simon weren't able to bring back Mikal Bridges or any other move? So, this is just one of those where I will reserve my judgment. I'll hold out on this, but this does feel right now, if I'm a Blazer fan, this feels like a little bit of a letdown. And if I'm Damian Lillard, and I hope there's some honesty in the press conference tonight, don't sell me on the Dame and Scoot can work out.
Yeah, I'll tell you they can.
Yeah, Scoot shoots 28%, 29% from behind the arc. Dame doesn't play that well with it. He needs the ball in his hands. We saw that with Simons this year. It wasn't, the best of fit. Dame is best when he has the ball in his hand, and at 33, he's going to defer to a 19-year-old kid. That's don't give me that. So don't stand up there and tell me that this is the long-term plan of these 4 guards. Don't do that.
Think about the development of Scoot.
Yeah.
If you keep Dame,
Yeah. It neuters it.
it's going to change.
There's
Yeah. There's only one ball to go around. Right now you
there's
have
only 96 minutes, and if you've got 96 minutes between the 1 and the 2,
Yeah.
you've got 35 for Dame, you've got 35 for Ant, you've got 20 for Shaden. That leaves 6 minutes.
So to me, if this is the plan, then do the right thing, and just go to Lillard and say, where are the 3 teams that you're interested in going, and we'll do our best to try to get you someplace that you want. And then you move forward. You move forward and you say it's been a hell of a run, but you just be honest about it. Do not sell me. And also, I think too, it's important. We know that when you deal star players, you do not get equal value back. Never happens, right? It just doesn't. Not in the short term. Maybe in the long term it works out. The longer you allow this to go on, and you run the risk of Lillard becoming bitter, all that does is take already a trade value, and we've seen stars get traded, and we're like, that's all they got. We just saw it with Bradley Beal. Happens all the time. The longer you let this go on, to me, all it does is decrease the value of Damian Lillard, because teams are sitting around being like, yeah, they have to get rid of him. I think already you've probably sent up the flag that you have to get rid of him. And I think the longer you let this twist in the wind, that to me would be my fear, is that teams realize that the longer it goes, the more desperate you get and the less you get back in return. So if this is the plan going forward, cool, fine with it, then do it. Do it now. Don't wait until the trade deadline. Don't give me half a season with this. If you're going to do it, he's 33 years old, do it. Do it now. You sure as hell can't run out 4 guards. Bring back Norman Powell or CJ, and let's just do 5 and be done with it. So I don't hate it. Little disappointed. Not what I wanted to see. I thought we owed Dame a little bit, but I'll be fair. Maybe there wasn't a deal to be made. Maybe the 3rd overall pick and Simons just weren't what we thought it was. And if that's the case, you do what's best for the franchise and you move forward. But now I think it's time to actually take the fork in the road. Don't serve 2 masters. Don't serve 2 timelines. And, move forward. And let us all kind of embrace the young guys, because I know you guys are bigger Blazer fans than I am. Rob's not a fan at all. I consider myself a Blazer fan, from the local standpoint, but you guys obviously take it to a different level. But for me, it's hard to root for the babies when I got Dame hanging around. I think that's awkward for me. You said it. It's a weird place for me to be next year if this is what it is, and saying, oh, I'm excited about the young guys, and then I look at 33-year-old Lillard and being like, God, no. So just pull the Band-Aid off and let me move forward with the babies. And if that's the case, I'm all in. We're going to be bad for a couple years. I get it. You're going to be crappy, but look at Oklahoma City. You tell me in 3 years we're going to be Oklahoma City? Because Oklahoma City got some stuff. They got some stuff cooking. So, let us go through that without the constant of the back and forth with Lillard. So that's just that's my kind of overall, take on this night, and then we'll see what happens here with 23, and we'll see what going forward. So
how different do you frame this if this isn't the off the heels of the old Shea era? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
How much of that is bleeding into this?
A lot, because again, it's like,
because you can't separate the two. But
no, and maybe I'm a little bit of a, it's like in a fight with your spouse. Why are you bringing up the past? Well, because it's relevant.
Yeah. It matters.
You can. Yeah, it's 8 years of this. You can tell me all you want that this is a new regime, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still the same franchise, it's still the same fan base, it's still the same. It's the same old, same old. So I understand it's a different regime, but to me, if you're Joe Cronin and you took this, you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were getting into, and you told us. You told us that this was the plan all along, and then it's not the plan. So, if you come in and take over, and I'm not saying toxic culture or anything like that, but you look at what happened with the Commanders in the NFL, right? you had to clean house and you brought in Ron Rivera because, hey, we needed someone that was going to change the culture. And if you come in and you have the same damn culture, that's on you. You know what the mission is. You know, most of the time when you try to change a culture, you change the direction, you bring in the antithesis of what you just came from.
Players coach to
Yes.
the hard-ass coach.
You know, they get rid of, Monty Williams down in Phoenix. They're not bringing in a Monty Williams clone. You know, the idea that they were going to bring up the assistant, then why did you get rid of?
It's the same tree.
It's the same tree. So you went in a different direction. So, you know, if that was the case, then go find a different GM. You know, you can't just sell me Neil O'Shea's plan, the Mason Plumlee model for 8 years, and then be like, hey, we got a new GM, and then give me the Mason Plumlee model again. You can't. You can't do it. So, yes, unfortunately, and it's not fair to Joe Cronin in some ways, absolutely, if this was a completely different regime, then in a different team, we may view this differently. But to me, that's unfair of a fan base. It's unfair to the fan base to ask them to view it any other way.
Just swallow that pill.
To swallow the pill. We've swallowed the pill enough. We have. And like I said, me not even as a diehard, I've swallowed the pill enough. I can't imagine what it's like for season ticket holders, like, you know, and I've heard kind of a mixed reaction. I think some fans are actually excited. I've heard plenty of fans that are like, dude, let's go with the babies. I'm ready. Let's rebuild. And so I think there are some fans that are excited, but I do think that the Lillard thing hanging over your head neuters some of that. It mutes some of that excitement, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. This should be when you draft the number 3. This should be a big day, and it doesn't feel like a big day. It feels like a weird day, and I don't like that. I thought this was going to be the biggest day in 8 or 9 years of the franchise, and it still may end up being. But to me, it's weird. It's a weird. It's a weird vibe. I don't know, you guys getting that same sort of?
Yeah, I mean, like, is there anything here? Is there anything here that saves this for you?
I mean, saves it. You don't have to save it, I guess, in a way. I mean, what saves it is if Scoot ends up being Russell Westbrook. And I know that sounds, like I'm not talking about Russell Westbrook now. I'm talking about like MVP Russell.
I think he's past that Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, but if you give me a guy in 2 or 3 years that that's he's not his shots. He's not going to be a shooter.
No.
Like you don't shoot 29% and then you're going to one day be a 39. Like Jason Kidd. Yeah, you get to, like Jason Kidd, right? You improve the jumper a little bit, but if you tell me in 2 or 3 years that this guy's given me 19, 8, and 6, and he's throwing alley-oop dunks to Sharp, and you turned Lillard and Simons into, I don't know, let's Jared Allen, comes and plays center for you, and then you go get like a baby Sabas, like what Sacramento did, and you put together that kind of group, then that's what saves it. So at this point, unfortunately, we've kicked it down the road. In my opinion, we've kicked it down the road another 2 or 3 years, and so save it. I don't think anything saves it tonight, because I think what people were hoping for was Mikal Bridges or Zion or Karl Anthony Towns or one of these things, one of the or Bam. I know that wasn't happening, but these names supposedly were out there, and that's not coming. So to me, I'm in full baby mode at this point, and the sooner I get to full baby,
you've embraced the pivot.
I got baby fever.
You're wearing a diaper.
Yeah,
You want to actually be a baby?
Yeah, I'm in full baby mode at this point. So give me the opportunity to go full baby. That's what I want. You said what saves it? And it'll never happen. But in my ideal world, in my souk world, Joe Cronin comes out and says, we tried, we had offers on the table. They weren't there. And going forward, this is a youth movement. Do not sell me on the coexisting thing. Don't do it. Come out and say, this is the plan, and moving forward, we'll do right by Dame. It'll never happen, but in an ideal world, what saves it for me tonight, I would applaud Joe Cronin in this franchise for having the balls and the honesty to just come out and be like, okay, now we move forward, and it's a new era, and we thank Damian Lillard. He's arguably the greatest Blazer of all time, and we're going to do right by him. And we tried our best, and it didn't work, and we're going to have a mutual parting of the ways, and he'll always be a Blazer. He makes his home here. He will always have a place in our hearts, but, he wants to go in a different direction, and we don't blame him. And no one be bitter at him. and you move on.
If they go that route, I don't think anybody's going to be mad at Damian Lillard.
Shouldn't be. That dude gave you everything he could possibly give you. Did everything that you could want. He for a small market, you could not ask for a better star. You couldn't. The Brandon Roy was the same way, and Roy's knees failed him. Lillard didn't. That guy is giving you every single thing that he could possibly give you, which is why
on and off the floor.
On and off the floor. I hope he goes and wins a title somewhere, because I don't think it's going to be here in Portland. So at this point, if he wants to, like I said, if he wants to get to Miami, try to get him to Miami. If he wants to get to Milwaukee, try to.
That's where I'll fight you, because I think they need to do right by him, but they also.
And that's why I said, give me 3 or 4 teams.
Yeah, because
the
Brooklyn Miami offers.
Yeah, Tyler Hero and a ham sandwich. I'm with you on that. But 3-team deal. Give me a list of places, right? Don't pull a Bradley Beal, because I don't have to deal you.
That's the thing is, I don't think the Blazers are going to. They're not going to Houston Rockets him.
Yes.
And he's not going to James Harden them.
Yes.
Like that. It's not going to get to that.
No.
place.
So give me a list of places that you would like to go, and we will do our best to facilitate something that works out. Not every deal has to screw someone over. Like every time you go buy a car, it doesn't have to be an awful deal, right? You can go in there and be like, hey, it's a fair price on a car, right? I'm not saving $10,000. People go in and want to buy a used car, and it's like, well, the blue book on it is $12,000. I want it for $6,000. That's not going to happen, and you shouldn't have to pay $18,000 for it. There's got to be something out there that makes sense, where you get a young big, maybe a couple of trade pieces or a couple of draft assets, and you get Lillard to a contender. You can't tell me that doesn't exist out there. It may not be exactly what you're looking for, and I'm fine cutting a little off the top. If it means sending Lillard to a place that he wants to go, I'm willing to cut a little off the top. Not at all, like you said, Miami or Brooklyn or whatever, but a little off the top to get him where he needs to go, I'm okay with it. Because I think you owe him. Because you surely didn't do him many favors when he was here for 10 years. So,
and that's the problem, is that the bill is being paid for by the new regime.
Yeah, it is. But this is
as unfair as it sounds. That's just reality.
Yeah. I suppose you can do it. You can just say, hey, I don't care what you want, and I don't know. That's a bad karma taste. That's not a way to do business, in my opinion. I don't think you want to be known in the NBA, and maybe it doesn't matter because the team will get sold eventually, and so maybe it doesn't.
Everything changes over.
Everything changes over. I just don't want to be known as a franchise, and we have a hard enough time getting guys to come here anyways. Lillard, who is universally respected in this league. Is there anyone that has a bad thing to say about Damian Lillard? I think he's one of the more respected guys in the league. And to me, I just think it's a bad flag to send up to the rest of the NBA that here's a guy that was loyal when no one else would be. I mean, was it Kevin Garnett that was talking to Lillard that was like, dude, get out now.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gotten out of Minnesota sooner. Like,
I also think that's a slightly different situation.
Sure, but you're going to send up that flag to the rest of the NBA that here's a guy that was more loyal to us than we deserved. And now on our way out, after we told them that we're going to make a final push with him,
we're going to kick him in the jump.
Then we're going to kick him in the balls and send him to, I don't know, send him to Utah. I guess maybe Utah wouldn't be bad. Weber State, they're young, but another team where it's not, another youth building situation or whatever. Some team that has a ton of assets. I don't know. Send him to Oklahoma City. They got a bunch of assets, or Utah with a bunch of assets, which, then he's like, great, I'm right back to having a bunch of kids around me anymore. That to me,
that ultimately might keep him from wanting to go somewhere, because there may not be a deal.
It's possible,
and he may realize that.
It's possible.
Which then you're sitting there going,
well,
shit.
Well, yeah. Then I'm back to four damn guards. Only one of them over 6'2". I'm not interested. And that's I don't know. That's a way. I keep going. My final thing. And I'll let you guys get back. I know people are like, why is this idiot with the beard on here?
They love you.
They
love Big Soup.
Again, I go back to it. At the exit interview, not one, not two, all three. All three said, what do we have to do in the offseason? We have to get older, and we have to get bigger. You had the number 3 overall pick. You got younger and you got shorter. Shorter. I don't know how to reconcile that. It was your words, not mine. I didn't stand up there and say you needed to get older and bigger. And again, I go back to Scoot, and I that's why I asked about this generational talent. Outside of Steph Curry, and by the way, Steph Curry, arguably second, third best point guard of all time. Yeah, pretty good. And ended up in a great situation. Wasn't this way right away, but, got paired with Clay and Draymond, and it was a great situation there. Kevin Durant certainly helps. Outside of Steph Curry, look around and who's built around an undersized guard that wins.
It's hard.
This is a league full of athletic wings. If you look around the league and you look at the last handful of NBA champions, minus Golden State, is again, I get it. That's an outlier. So you better hope that your undersized guard is Steph Curry. But Milwaukee, Denver, LeBron, look at the finals, the last couple of years. Miami, that's it. Last time I checked, it pays to be long and it pays to be athletic. So
you got to have the guard, but he can't be the only one.
And so you say, okay, well, is Sharp that guy? It's you saying that Shaedon Sharp is the the cornerstone of the franchise? Maybe years down the road. I think it is I don't want to feel like I'm dragging Scoot. I'm not. I just feel it interesting that that there's all this talk of this generational talent. Well, in the NBA, there's not a lot of 6'2" generational talents, and again. You did. You had the undersized generational talent, Damian Lillard. And no offense to Scoot, I don't think Scoot's Damian Lillard.
The likelihood of him being as good as Dame is slim to none.
And what did Dame get you? Yeah. Dame was amazing. He got you one trip to the conference finals. One, and you can say that was kind of fluky, the Clippers and injuries and all that stuff. So, it's not a drag on him. I just think it's a fair question to ask about another undersized guard in a league that seems to be trending towards long, athletic wings, which is why I said all along, like if I was a Blazer fan, everyone was like, oh, I want Scoot to be there. I want Scoot to be there. To me, I'd rather have Brandon Miller. If you're asking me
That's what I've been hammering the
if
last
you're asking
week.
me to bet on the kid that I'm going to rebuild around, 6'2" undersized guard that doesn't shoot the ball very well, or 6'9" athletic freak that can stroke the ball a little bit, which one of those in general works out better in the NBA? I the 6'9" guy. So
I would say Scoot has the more likely chance to hit his ceiling, but if you're gonna throw the bones, you go on the guy. The scarcity of the resource is size.
Yeah. Like if I'm drafting a left tackle in the NFL, and I got two guys that I really like, I want the guy that's 6'7", not the guy that's 6'4". There are 6'4" guys, that work, and I know Scoot's got really a big wingspan, but it scares me in a league that is.
You say big wingspan when you don't have the size.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah, and it's a league again that's built around shooters, and that 29% from behind the arc, and that frightens me, and that can get better. But he's 19. Like, he will not be making a huge impact for 3-4 years. I mean, just most guys that come in. I mean, he'll be a downhill guy, but to actually mean a difference in meaningful basketball,
it's 4 or 5 years.
It's going to be a while. Look at the playoffs. The playoffs are not made of young teams.
There's 0 kids.
Yeah, it's a grown man's league. Giannis didn't do anything until he became a grown-ass man. Jokic didn't do anything until he became a grown-ass man. Miami is full of grown-ass men. And right now we have a bunch of kids. We have a bunch of kids and one grown-ass man in Damian Lillard. But I don't know. It was a weird night. It was a weird night. But this is what it is going forward. You can not like it. You can like it. But I don't think we'll know the outcome of this for, unfortunately, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe another month, or it might be a whole year. Maybe they are going to try to sell us and maybe a trade deadline thing. I just don't see any conceivable way in my mind how Lillard – say what you will about the other guards, just, Simons and Sharp. I just don't see how Scoot and Lillard coexist at all. To me, it makes – I cannot find –
they don't match up.
I can't find a scenario in my head where it makes sense. None whatsoever.
Trying to see the Blazers are going to be up here relatively soon. We're on pick 21.
Scoot already said he's going to bother Chauncey a ton this year.
Yeah, I did see that pop.
It certainly doesn't seem like he's planning on going anywhere.
And again, that's the other side of this is, and it's not a knock on Scoot. He doesn't want to be in Portland because he doesn't want to play behind Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Because
you're Jordan Love and you get drafted to Green Bay. You don't want to play behind Aaron Rodgers.
No.
So
if you're a professional athlete, you don't want to go develop.
yeah, Scoot won't say it, but Scoot doesn't want to. Scoot wants Lillard out of town too. Plain and simple.
I
Scoot.
mean, he was trying. His camp was trying to force him to New Orleans.
So
It's what they were trying to make happen.
then make it happen then. Maybe there's something that we could still make it. So, all right, I'll let you guys get back before we do the 23 overall pick. But I'm happy to be on the Jacked Ramsays. My first time.
So we'll bring you on next time, man.
I enjoy it. So to everyone out there, I appreciate you letting me crash the podcast. I do listen for a lot of my Blazer info. I think you guys do a great job. I'm a big fan, and we don't get to talk as much NBA obviously on our show. We're obviously more football heavy.
No way, the former NFL player talks NFL.
Well, Rob's not a huge NBA guy, we all know that. So it's nice to get in here and we can do a little bit of in the weeds here, digging into some NBA draft stuff. And I'll just say, as a sports fan, hope springs eternal, right? Eternal.
Exactly.
It's all you can do. It's all you can do at this point is hope and pray that there's a direction. And to me, the direction has been laid out, and now it's just a matter of committing to it. Don't pussyfoot around at this point. You made your choice. You went with Scoot. Again, let me be a fan of the babies. Do right by Lillard, and that's my parting shot. So I appreciate you guys letting me on. I'll let you get back, and hey, maybe something happens at 23. Maybe Simons at 23 brings you, I don't know, maybe it brings you another front court player, or We'll see what happens.
We'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah, we'll see what comes out of it. All right, boys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Big Sook stopping in. Our first on-location guest.
Our very first interview, huh? How about that, huh? How
Sook
about
took
that?
and ran, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's good to feel other people feeling how we're feeling. That's
For sure. For those wondering, Scoot Henderson just wrapped up his Zoom conference with Portland Media.
yeah.
It's recorded, so I'll grab that and take a look at it. I mean,
Loves the city, loves the greenery.
He did mention when his interview when he was here before, he's like, I'm from Georgia, and you get a little bit of green down here. He goes, it's really green up here.
Yeah, well, it's even greener in certain circles.
I mean, you can get all the green. I bet you the green up here is better than the green down there.
Hey, if he wants a hookup, I can direct him the right direction.
We are going to wait until pick 23, and that's where we will wrap because I have
You
got
gotta
to
get
pack
down,
up,
yeah.
and then I've got to head down to
Yep.
the practice facility, and I'm on the 6th floor, and I got to pack up a shitload of gear.
Obviously, Sukanik was ranting there. I wanted to get his thoughts. I'm not at all surprised that was like his kind of takeaway from this. I think him, me, you, I think there's a lot of people that this is where we're at. It's not a knock on Scoot. It's a weird place, though. This is not what you do to win with these guys. And so, I genuinely just kind of think, like, if Scoot's doing a Zoom conference with the media and he's already talking about how much he's going to bother Chauncey, that's not something a guy that thinks he's going to get traded says. So, I know there's a lot to still happen here. This isn't a definitive statement, but, like,
We're now one pick away. The
Noah
Nets are
Clowney
picking
going
Noah
21,
Clowney.
yeah. The idea that, like, whoa, no, way more trades are coming. It's like, I think you guys need to mentally put yourself where I put myself a couple days ago. Like, if you told me the roster is Dame, Ant, Scoot, young guy at 23, Shaden, and whatever else they figure out, like, I'm not going to sit there like, I can't believe it. I've mentally prepared for it. And maybe we don't need to do that. Maybe they'll trade 23 and Ant, but I kind of just, I don't know. I think they really value the young talent, the asset, the contract stuff, all that. Nice seeing you again. Get home safe. Okay.
I'd love to have a driver.
Yes, thank you. That's a guy that drinks so much that he looks like he smoked weed. That's when you know somebody is housed. It's like, oh, man, your eyes are bloodshot. Randomly, too, we got an Oklahoma City Thunder fan in this building.
Yeah,
I don't know where
I
that
saw
came
that.
from.
Yeah, I saw
You better be from Oklahoma because there ain't no way you're going to tell me you were a Sonic fan who just rolled over. Like, that's not allowed.
So folks have left, but it's still packed. The whole
Oh, they got a
patio's-
great turnout.
The patio's full still.
For those that might listen to this back that were here and wanted to see the live opinion and everything, I wanted to say really quickly, thank you again for showing up and showing out.
Yeah, no, absolutely awesome.
I
sorry.
just
I basically stopped talking.
I know,
My
your-
voice is fried.
Your voice is fried. I'm almost like tempted to say as soon as we know the pick, we shut it down
No,
like
that's-
ASAP.
that's
Like
what
not
we're
even
doing.
like a lot of parting words. It's like, okay, that's the pick. We'll give you guys feedback later. But I wanted to say real quick, I was just told while Sukanik was ranting, up to 90% of their reservations, which this is the most busy they said they've been in a long time. Not over 90% were because of 1080 The Fan. And I know Jack Ramsays is its own entity, and it's got this kind of weird partnership. But I view it as the same umbrella. We're pubbing it. We're both on the station, and that is massive. KGW streaming the press conference. It's corny to say, but you got to support local, man. And we've been busting our asses the last couple weeks with all this stuff, and we appreciate everybody that showed up today because it means a lot to a lot of people.
It does, and I mean, it's going to sound super corny, but when I go to our sales staff and I say, look, man, if I say we're going to go somewhere, we're going to pack it out.
Yeah.
And everybody shows up, that's huge for us.
Massive.
Because both times that I've said, look, I'm telling you, if you give me a spot, we'll pack it out.
Mm-hmm.
And both times we have packed the house, shoulder to shoulder. We had, I think there was something like 80-something reservations for 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if there was more than that there's probably 250 people in here.
I might be wrong. It might be the most they've had since they opened after COVID.
Yeah.
And they had to shut down for a couple years because COVID sucked, obviously. But they're open now. And there's a great deal. I'm just pubbing them to be nice because they've been great partners with us. They got a Screaming Blazer deal you told me about before the show. Was it like $25 in parking?
Yeah, no, if you come down here for a Blazers game night, you can get valeted parking for $25 for the night. You can come up here, eat your food, then go to the game. Then
And
come
it's
grab
right
it.
here. I mean,
Like,
it's the
literally-
Eastland Hotel's right here.
It's the convention center. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally staring. It's across the street.
Yeah, you can see it from the roof.
Is like you can see Moda off the balcony. It's a great location. I'm not even just gassing them up because they have us here. It's incredibly nice in here.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably too nice for us.
We way overachieved on the establishment,
Yes,
but it's a great
and
partner.
The food is bomb as hell.
Yeah, great reviews on drinks as well.
Drinks were great.
I do love that there is a bar transition, awkward transition. I love that there's a bar in Toronto doing live watch party, and they were recorded after they drafted Grady Dick saying, "We want Dick. We want Dick." That is what I want to see. That's the fandom that I love.
Like I said, one more dick in Toronto.
Yeah, one more. One more. Now, do any of the people, real quick question, do any of the people that tweeted me that I was way overreacting and an idiot, do they tweet me again if there is no trade? Or is it just, that's the thing about it that's fascinating to me is like, I'll come out and say, I was way wrong.
Look,
I can live in being wrong. That's the less humanity. I never get the, hey, man, I tweeted you and I said you were an idiot. You ended up being kind of right there. Like,
no, that guy never comes back.
never comes back.
No, I had someone this morning who was when the odds shifted. Hey, remember how you said you were going to have all those screenshots ready and you were going to tell all those Hornets fans? He's like, I can't wait for you to wallow in this. And I was like, well, you know what? Live by the penny, die by the penny.
That's honestly, but that was the moment to do it to you, is because the odds shifted hard, man. They shifted hard. What time do you think the presser will start if you're spitballing? 8:30?
9.
It was already 7.
7:30 right now.
I told the babysitter I'd be back in like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Luckily, it's free 99, so it's like, a friend helping out.
Say, do you want this?
No, I got a $5 from my valet guy, and then race right over. I got to eat something though. I might have a bad dinner. I might get some.
Oh, I'm 100.
I might get something fast, if you know what I
they'll-
mean.
yeah, no,
I'm not
they'll-
going to shout them out, but
No, they'll have a spread at the practice facility.
I know.
I'll grab some.
Did I tell you I went to one of those once?
Oh.
I went to the one they drafted Noah Vonleh. Or not Noah Vonleh, Nolan Smith.
Oof. Oh, no, you did.
Oh, it was a trash event. Nobody showed up until like right before they came out. They picked Nolan Smith, and the guy that I don't even remember who it was looked at me and was just like, wow.
How long on the Nets on the clock here? I feel
Forever.
like that thing has been on the clock. Did it switch to 10 minutes? Is that what happened?
No, it should stay 5 for the whole first round. Why would you switch to 10 later?
I don't know, man. It just feels like they've been on the clock forever.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with.
normally I'd be like at this time of night, and I'll be like, maybe I'm super high. But no, that's not the case.
Maybe maybe we'll be wrong with this, but I kind of tend. This is where I'm at. Joey says it like. They just think there's not going to be a trade. They've made their mind up, man. Like they got Shaden. You have Scoot. Ant is still young. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but they still got Ant on a pretty good contract. Like I just kind of think they're in on the development. Now hold that for 10 seconds when they make the trade.
We have fans that are saying they truly appreciate all the dick jokes tonight. Look, if you count on anything from these two idiots, it's making very bad dick jokes. Let me tell you, this camera is not doing me any favors. I look like I'm three of you with the angle this camera is being at right now.
Well, it's bad angles, man. That's you put the angle. That's your fault. Blame yourself. Look in the mirror here, Daniel.
You look like my midget, like Make-A-Wish child.
Well,
right
the
now.
other thing is your ass is bigger, so mine's a little flatter. I sit a little lower, and it's like, hey, guys, welcome in. I came in with my dad.
Seriously, you look like a little.
I'm also leaning way back,
I know,
man.
but it's funny. Just the angle of this, you look like.
Oh,
God, what is his name? Bradley Cooper. Have you seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No, is that good?
It's fun. It's Chris Pine.
Bradley Cooper's in Dungeons and
He
Dragons?
makes a cameo as like a person who's like 3'2".
Yeah, okay.
So he's like a little midget next to Michelle Rodriguez's like hulking monster body, and he's sitting on this little tiny chair. And it's just like,
Bro,
that's what this is. It's giving me very.
let me get a little political here.
Oh, go.
This looks like when Biden and Joe Biden sat next to Jimmy Carter. Did you see that photo?
I mean, he's like 97. There's nothing left of him.
I get it. Like
It's Skeletor.
No, I know, but that's an optical illusion. Joe Biden might be 6'2". He might be a good height.
Yeah, but he's still tiny.
He looks like Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
next to my 7-year-old.
Yes.
And that's not right. That's a weird camera angle. That should not be allowed.
The round mountain of 10 man. Not wrong.
Hey, he's not going to be round and mound much longer, so get the jokes in now.
Literally the fattest I've ever been. So.
We're getting off the fat train here,
We
buddy.
are.
You got to think positively.
I mean, I'm working out. I'm eating better. I
Yeah.
mean, I eat like shit tonight. But
Oh, we're golfing soon.
we are golfing soon.
golfing
and
soon.
we're also golfing on Tuesday.
Uh,
Yeah,
no.
the station.
Oh. Well, yeah, I thought you were talking about you and me.
No.
You and me is a different
Yeah,
date.
no. I'm saying in general.
Yeah, Tuesday we got 1080 The Fan golf tournament at Langdon
Yeah, Langdon
Farms.
Farm- Dude, this is a fun week.
It is a fun week. It's busy.
Yeah.
It's been odd. I've had a lot going on in my personal life. Not like awful, but like just everything's happening.
Yeah, no. That's
And-
the next 3 weeks for me.
And I'm on the phone like all the time, and I'm like, did anything happen? No, okay, thank you. Put it back. Did anything happen? And I just feel like I'm a fuse. Light me, and it's gonna go quick.
All right. Lasers are going to be on the clock.
Here we go. Who are they taking? Who are the Nets going with?
Drake Whitehead. Duke.
I didn't see a lot of Duke this year, got to be honest. I hate Duke, 1. And 2, I don't know, they just didn't grab me. College basketball in general, it's just such a different, wow. That's a cool family photo. You wish you'd kind of be looking at the camera, kind of down, biting my lip thing, but
It's tough look. Also,
still a
what's
cool
happening-
moment
what's
though,
happening
right?
here?
Maybe those are specialty glasses. But college basketball in general, it's just hard to get me in on it.
That's why I felt like the Nets were on the clock for so goddamn long. They had back-to-back picks. Wasn't even thinking.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Like, why does it feel like they've
I've
been on
forgotten the
clock?
order at this point. I just know Portland's 23.
Dude, I have done, almost 3 hours on here.
I know, plus that,
Plus
plus your
my
show.
show.
I know.
It's all blending together.
I had to
now.
wake up at 4, do my show, and then go home, and
come
then
back.
drive back and do this. I'll say, we don't have real jobs, but on nights like this, I'm like, mentally, it cooks you a little bit. Because, we got to be a little louder because it's live, but your voice is kind of shot.
Oh, dude, I'm getting slightly worried about tomorrow.
Oh, I'd be really I'm worried about
Yeah.
you.
I did a throat coat tea last night.
Oh, yeah? Did you feel good today about that?
I felt better.
And then you did the show.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, we're back to this.
I
Dusty was looking at me like, you need to push out. And I'm like, dog, I got nothing left.
can't push. You sound like
I-
my wife on our second kid. I'm done. Brandon, shut up. I'm done. I can't push no more. I'm like, we're right there, they said. We're right there. I'm not seeing any rumor mill stuff yet. I was almost wondering your voice. I'm like, damn, can Danny and Dusty get out of doing the live show? Can he just? Because when you're live, it's different when you talk. It's a little different. You're talking a little louder. There's bar noise, a little bit of a different vibe. Sometimes the mics, as we've experienced, aren't the best.
Yeah, my mic and my voice are fried. So
Yeah, I know.
it is what it is.
You going to Summer League now? I mean, you have to, don't you?
Yeah, I'm.
I might be looking into that. I'm kind of curious.
If you want to go Friday through Sunday,
I'm kind of curious.
$700.
Flight?
Everything. Mandalay, Alaska.
Really?
I'll send you
They got a deal?
Yeah.
I got miles, too.
Yeah, I'll give you my itinerary. Just 2 shows.
That'd be kind of dope to do some shows down there. Get some random people to stop in and hang out and talk hoop.
Take the road down there.
Oh, yeah, we could definitely get the Roadcaster.
I'd do it.
Yeah, send me the link. I got to start planning some of this stuff out.
If we're going to do it, we can just save some money and just split a room.
Well, then I'll be tempted to have sex with you.
It happens.
I don't want to cheat on my wife.
It's not cheating, man.
It's not it's not cheating if you're not trying.
They're going to take Chris Murray.
Are they? Is in? Chris Murray.
They went for a
Chris Murray, remind me.
Keegan Murray's brother.
Oh.
They went for the guy who's ready.
Yep.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I got nobody apologizing yet. They're going youth. Chris Murray. Now, unless there's a trade, barring is 2 R's, right? Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Danny's got to go. His voice is shot. I don't know about tomorrow. We'll figure it out. We'll do a pod soon. Danny should not be doing a post-press conference pod, to be honest with you. He's got a show tomorrow. Tune into The Fan from 6 to 9 a.m., and then tune into The Fan from noon to 3. Isaac Atsuka as well, 3 to 7. We'll figure out the podcast thing out, and we'll have more to react to and talk about.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Help us grow the show. We've had upwards of 1,200 of you in here throughout the entire show.
Amazing. Amazing.
I wouldn't have thought this a while when
Yeah.
we first started this up. So this is absolutely awesome. And that, you can find us on social media at Danny Marang, at Brandon Sprague, at Jack Ramsays. Email the show, jackramsays@gmail.com. I'm headed down to the practice facility. I will find out what I can, and we'll go from there. And then we'll go tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful night. Try not to, take it too hard. Like I said, August 1st.